veteran Philadelphia Passion returns to the biggest stage in football to take on MVP Heather Furr and the explosive Chicago Bliss. Tonight, a champion will be crowned. Legends Cup. Next.
You are looking at the Las Vegas Strip, site of the first ever Legends Cup. Hello everybody, Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Huco. And Bobby, a great matchup for our first ever Legends Cup here in Vegas, Philadelphia versus Chicago. Although if you talk to a lot of analysts, nobody expected this matchup. Everybody thought that perhaps Jacksonville coming out of the Eastern Conference would be in this game, or Los Angeles out of the West, or even Seattle. Keeping in mind, Seattle was undefeated as early as a couple weeks ago, but we have Chicago versus Philadelphia, and Chicago, some argue, is the hottest team in football right now.
Unquestionably, they are the hottest team in the LFL right now. They're having an impressive playoff run. They beat the three-peat LA Temptation in the first round of the playoffs, and they followed that up against the undefeated Seattle Mist and won that game handily.
And when you talk about the matchups, breaking down these two teams, for Philadelphia specifically, they have an edge in this game, and that's called experience. They have people like Heather Perez, Heather Roy, Lauren Labella. These are individuals that have been on the big stage for the last couple of years. And then quarterback play, Christy Bell. We all know she either shines in the big game or fails miserably. And I got to think Coach Lance Smith is going to have her on a short leash, especially with a rookie quarterback like Megan Larson, who can really open it up. So that'll be interesting to follow that. And then lastly, Mary Rose Roach, arguably the best running back in the game. And why is that argument being made is because you have Christelle Harris coming from Chicago. So who is the best running back in the LFL?
That's the question tonight. The key to the game is going to be the running game. You have the #1 back in the league, Christelle Harris for Chicago. She's incredible out of the back, running through people, running away from people. She's also one of the top receivers in the league. She can do it all, catch the ball or run it. And for Philadelphia, you have Mary Rose Roach. For any success tonight at all, Philadelphia has to give her a lot of touches and run that clock down. Now we're going to see who's going to emerge as the top back this year in the LFL tonight. Mary Rose Roach or Christelle Harris. And whoever does that will also probably win the game.
Oh, without doubt, I think the rushing game and having a good rushing game in this game is going to make a huge difference here. And then let's talk about Chicago, break them down a little bit.
Well, offensively, it's going to be the running game, which opens things up for Heather Furr. Have a lot of passing lanes. She has a tandem of receivers to throw to. Allie Alberts, the sensational rookie, is having a great year. Then you have the veteran, Laura Stix-Peterson. On the defensive side, watch out for the defensive end, Yashi Rice. Emerging as one of the best defensive end going after quarterbacks. She's fast and tough. And at linebacker, Chantel Taylor. Watch out for her to spy on the road tonight to keep her in check. Should be fun to watch in that defense.
That's the stage. It is Legends Cup, the first ever one from Las Vegas. Kickoff moments away.
We are back at the Orleans Arena. Once again, Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Huco. And we have got the first ever Legends Cup seconds away. It'll be the Philadelphia Passion versus the Chicago Bliss, and Lindsay Nadali to get us off, Bobby.
Let's see if the third time is the charm for the Philadelphia Passion.
Deep kick by Nadali against the wall. And that'll be a touchback as Christelle Harris and Heather Furr will go to work. And we sat down with Furr earlier to talk about league MVP honors versus the chance to win a Legends Cup.
Winning MVP was amazing, but my real focus tonight is winning the Legends Cup. That's been our focus since day one of this season.
Mitch, she's been the MVP before, but never has been a champion quarterback. Look at those stats. She had a great year, 277 yards passing, 7 TDs, only 1 interception. Phenomenal year for Heather Furr.
And there's the other half of that duo, Christelle Ferrari-Harris. Let's meet the rest of that Chicago offense.
Dina Fagiano, tight end.
Marguerite Silvestro, center.
Monique Durant, offensive line.
Kim Perez,
Wide receiver.
Allie Albert, wide receiver.
Christelle Ferrari-Harris, the running back.
Heather Furr, quarterback.
Christelle Ferrari-Harris is going to be the key tonight, Mitch. I don't know if Philadelphia defense can stop the #1 rusher in the LFL.
And there's a look at that #1 running back, Christelle Ferrari-Harris, still fighting. She'll get about 7 on that one. And definitely the key to success for Chicago. Now let's meet the defense for Philadelphia.
Tiffany Sullivan, cornerback. Megan Lawrence, middle linebacker. Megan Larson, free safety. Heather Roy, linebacker. Crystal Gibson, cornerback. Heather Perez, strong safety.
The key tonight for that Philly defense is middle linebacker Megan Lawrence. She's going to have to personally stop Ferrari-Harris.
And there is Lawrence on that stop, but not after Ferrari gets 5 yards, and that'll be a Chicago first down, Bobby.
Christelle Harris, 491 yards rushing this season. Unbelievable year, #1 in the league. And as you mentioned, Mary Rose Roach from Philadelphia wants to take over #1, but she's going to have a ridiculously phenomenal game to overtake the Ferrari.
And that is the #1 question in the league right now. Who is the preeminent running back, Roach or Harris? And Harris will get an opportunity early here. She breaks along the left side and draws blood. Chicago on the board early, Bobby.
Mitch, you dance with the one that brung you, and they gave the ball to Harris on every play, and she walks in the end zone. Great blocking outside by Allie Alberts and Stick Peterson. Watch the blocking outside. Stalk blocking by both receivers. They don't put a hand on Harris. That's how you run a championship offense. Great opening series for Chicago.
And if you had to ask the question early, Harris or Roach, there's one indicator for Harris.
No question. Where's the Philadelphia defense? They walked right down the field, and she didn't get touched walking in the end zone.
There's a 1-point attempt by Chicago. A big surge up the middle as Furr decides to keep it, and she converts. And a little tension early in this one.
Philadelphia's got to start playing, not fighting. The extra point right there, they tighten the splits on the offensive line. They put Harris right directly behind Furr, and they just bulldoze Furr on a quarterback sneak into the end zone. In other words, Keith Hack is saying their offensive line is way tougher than Philadelphia's defensive line.
That was a 4-play, 35-yard opening drive for Heather Furr. And, of course, the #1 running back in the league drew first blood. Now we talk to Christy Bell about the importance of respect.
Winning this championship might get us the respect that we deserve, but really, it doesn't matter to us because every team that's had respect this year hasn't made it nearly as far as we have.
That's the problem, Mitch. They make it far every year. Christy Bell, you see her stats again, 62.5%. She got 10 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. But every year she makes it to a championship game, but then she doesn't play big. The key to this game is going to be all Christy Bell, how she performs. Mary Rose Roach, she always shows up. Let's see if Christy Bell shows up tonight.
That was a look at Roach. And Roach went for about 9 yards there, 1 yard short of the first down. Don't think that she's not looking at that first drive for Chicago and Harris's performance. Now a 1st and 1, and they're going to take a shot, and that's picked off by Laura Sticks Peterson, still on her feet, fighting her way down, all the way down to the Philadelphia 24. Big early turnover in this one.
Mitch, I'm not sure where Bell was throwing the ball. There's nobody there. I don't know if the receiver did the wrong play. She hooked behind the defensive back, and Bell threw it right to Sticks Peterson. Not a way to start the game for Christy Bell. Sticks Peterson having a great year. She got 14 tackles, 11 solo, and also playing great as a wide receiver.
All fantasy honors for Laura Sticks Peterson this season. And looking good early. Chicago driving once again. 1st and 10 at the Philadelphia 12. End around reverse. This one goes to Alberts. Alberts on the edge. She's going to score. And that'll put Chicago up to an early 13-0 lead. Alberts has been quite the rookie sensation this year. And they're showing her speed to get on the outside, Bobby.
What a call by offensive coordinator Jim Bruner. Everybody in the house thought Harris was going to get the ball in the sweep. They come back, and they give it to Alberts. What a call. What an opening for Chicago. Quickly up 2 scores over Philadelphia.
You hope that this is a wake-up call for Philadelphia. Already down 13-0 as Chicago goes for the extra point. And there is that surge up the middle once again by Heather Furr. That'll take our score to 14-0 Chicago.
Mitch, Keith Hack is simply saying my team is stronger and tougher than your team. On that extra point, they tighten it up. They are saying our offensive line will blow up your defensive line. And twice now, quarterback sneaks, they walk in the end zone. A surge by the offensive line. Incredible start for the Bliss.
That has been the one thing that's been written about, is the West tends to be far more physical than the East. 1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 15. There's another inside handoff to Roach. Roach trying to get to the outside. Nothing doing. Heather Furr comes up on the stop. And this Philadelphia offense will need to turn it on. Let's meet them.
Heather Roy, tight end. Claudia Colazo, center. Lindsay McDonald, wide receiver. Mary Rose Roach, running back. Christy Bell, quarterback.
Mitch, I have no doubt Mary Rose Roach will show up. The key is going to be if Christy Bell shows up. If she throws passes like that, she's got a shot. She has to play great, or they have no chance. It's going to be fun to watch.
And that is the importance of a quarterback that's struggling. Give them the easy passes. Let's meet that Chicago defense.
Chantel Taylor, defensive lineman. Gina Fagiano, linebacker. Yashi Rice, defensive line. Laura Sticks-Peterson, safety. Kim Perez, cornerback. Allie Albert, safety. Heather Furr, safety.
Coach Hack told me the game plan tonight is get Chantel Taylor and Yashi Rice all over Christy Bell.
There is Mary Rose Roach going out for about 12 yards there. And that'll be enough to move the sticks for Philadelphia.
There's no doubt in my mind, Mary Rose Roach, the former Offensive Player of the Year in the LFL, is going to have a big game. She's going one-on-one against Harris. You'll see right there, she had great blocking by Colazo up front. Her stats are phenomenal. Over 400 yards rushing again. She wants his title as bad as anybody on the field tonight.
And there is Roach getting on the outside there. And that'll go for about 9 yards, exactly what Philadelphia needs to gain some momentum.
Watch this move she puts on Allie Alberts. Comes up to the middle. Everybody thinks she's going to stay right behind the block. Cuts out. Alberts comes and dives. You cannot bring the strong Mary Rose Roach down with one hand like that. Great move by the Roach.
Now that Philadelphia offense looking at a very manageable 2nd and 1 at the Chicago 5. And you got to think here, Bobby, that you need a score. You can ill afford to go down to Chicago by more than 2 scores, especially when they have a Christelle Harris who can simply run out the clock.
Absolutely right. They have to stop the bleeding, get some points on the board, and tie this game up.
There's an inside handoff to Roach. And Yashi Rice comes up for a 3-yard loss. In fact, we met with Yashi Rice asking about Roach.
This defense is definitely not afraid of Mary Roach. How do you kill a roach? You stomp on it. That's what we're going to do.
I like that comment, Mitch. Yashi Rice off the edge. You got 19.5 tackles, 17 solo, 5 tackles for a loss. Just a sensational year.
There's a quick strike, and this one's picked off again. This time, Chantel Taylor, the middle linebacker, is going to take it to the house. An early 19-0 lead by the Chicago Bliss.
This might be Chantel Taylor's coming out year, Mitch. Again, a bad pass by Christy Bell. Nobody there. Her arm might have got hit, but another touchdown for Chicago.
That interior rush has been the key for this Chicago defense throughout the playoffs. And as you can see here, there is that surge blitz by Heather Furr. An errant pass by Christy Bell, and that results in 6 the other way.
Chantel Taylor, she's having a good year this year. 7 tackles, 6 solo, 1 sack, and 3 tackles for a loss.
And Bobby, she couldn't even get on the field last year. Only activated for 2 of the 4 Chicago Bliss games. But this year has been an absolute wrecking force alongside Yashi Rice.
That tells you what kind of offseason she had. She was dedicated. She worked on her game. Coach Hack worked with her, and she's playing great.
Now another extra point attempt. Furr keeps it once again, and Crystal Gibson off the edge stops her. So the score will remain 19-0 Chicago.
Coach Hack not happy with Heather Furr. He wanted her to go right up the middle. She went outside.
Regardless, Chicago up 19-0 on this Chantel Taylor return. Back to the Orleans Arena. An absolute dejected Christy Bell has already thrown for 2 interceptions in this one, Bobby.
Championship game, 3 attempts, 2 interceptions. That's not good. But this is how Christy Bell has played in championship games.
And there's the early yank by Coach Lance Smith. Looks like Megan Larson is in the game now at quarterback. She's looking for Heather Roy and can't complete it.
It might be a good move by Lance Smith. Christy Bell's not hot right now. Give her a chance to look at the game from the sideline. And you got Megan Larson, who is a better athlete, should be able to scramble around with that pass rush by Taylor and Rice. We'll see what she can do.
Good luck selling that to any starting quarterback, that you're going to learn the game better by hanging out on the sideline.
Well, you got to pull her out. She's thrown 2 picks this early in the game. You can't let her throw 3.
2nd and 10 now from the Philadelphia 15. Larson scrambling to her right, looking down the field, going to take a shot down the field. Lauren Labella comes up with that. That was a 35-yard strike from Larson to Labella, and Coach Hack not happy.
What a great move by Lance Smith, putting Larson in. She scrambles out of the pocket and throws a dart on the money to Labella, who makes a great catch. Watch the pass rush. They got her. They got her in the pocket, but she's a great athlete. Gets outside, plants on the run, throws a bullet in the middle of the safeties. Labella stabs a touchdown, Philadelphia. They're back in the game, Mitch.
That is the one distinct advantage of Larson over Bell, arm strength. As you can see, she wasn't even completely set and was able to get it down the field some 40-plus yards.
Coach Hack cannot believe it. They bring in the backup quarterback in the LFL title game. Her first pass, she throws a bullet down the middle between the safeties for 6.
Here's the extra point attempt, direct snap to Larson. Larson can't keep her footing, but at least Philadelphia answers, cutting into the lead now, 19-6.
They're only 2 scores back right now. That's a great move by Lance Smith. I know Bell can't be happy with it, but you know what? It put a spark in Philadelphia's offense.
That was a quick answer by Philadelphia. 2 plays, 35 yards, and only 1:48. Now Heather Furr in the shotgun from the Chicago 15. Shotgun snap direct to Furr. Furr, nothing on the right side, gonna try to go to the left side. And Mary Rose Roach comes up.
Mitch, she doesn't get a lot of credit at the safety position. We talk about her as a running back, but Heather Furr looked a little confused on that play. Went outside, came back in, and Roach came all the way from the safety spot to nail her for a loss.
Absolutely, that is not something she gets a lot of credit for, as you say, but just a great open field tackler, and more importantly, sometimes hitter. Now Heather Furr, 2nd and 13 from the Chicago 12. Right side handoff goes to Harris. Harris going all the way to the Philly bench, and now having a few words with that Philly bench.
Harris is not just fast, Mitch, she's quick. She followed the blocks outside again by Allie Alberts and Stix Peterson for another solid game. Watch the outside blocking here. Takes the handoff. The 2 receivers, they make contact. She reads the blocks beautifully and gets another big gain.
That will now set up a 3rd and 6 from the Chicago 19 as Furr looks over the defense. They're going to keep it on the ground once again to Harris up the middle. And Harris still on her feet, almost broke through. She went for about 14 yards, and that's going to be another Chicago first down.
Jim Bruner and Keith Hack, that's all they need to do. They haven't stopped Harris all night long. Why change it up? Watch her read her block. She takes the handoff. Again, point of attack blocking is outstanding, but she holds the ball like a loaf of bread. I'm surprised it didn't fall out.
That is one of the knocks on Harris. Very poor ball handling, and it's led to several key turnovers this year.
Mitch, that's her only weakness, the way she handles the ball. But with blocking like Fagiano's giving her tonight, if you hold that ball high and tight, Philadelphia can't stop the rushing game.
1st and 10 now from the Philadelphia 17. Furr going to take a shot over the middle, and that is picked off. Picked off by Latasha Richardson. And that is only the 2nd pick thrown this year by Heather Furr.
I don't understand it, Mitch. They're running the ball right down Philly's throat. Heather Furr throws it into coverage. The pass was not even needed. They got Harris unstoppable in the running game. Keith Hack cannot believe she threw the ball up like that. That's the only chance Philadelphia has to get back in the game. Ridiculous turnovers like that. Wow.
We have yet to see that kind of carelessness from the league MVP. And you definitely don't need that in the Legends Cup. This will give a young Philadelphia team renewed hope. 1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 17. Larson still under center. And it looked like that left side was not quite set. That is offside penalty. Sorry, delay a game penalty on Philadelphia. That'll cost them 5.
Keith Hack did not want Furr to throw that ball up, Mitch, and she did.
1st and 15 now. Another handoff to Roach. Roach going on the left side. And Allie Alberts coming up from the corner position on the stop.
Allie Alberts is having a heck of a year at corner. 14 tackles, 12 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. All that, and she's one of the best receivers in the LFL also.
2nd and 14 now for Philadelphia. There's a look of determination, Bobby.
Kim Perez and a lot of players have the war paint on tonight. They are determined to be the aggressors in the championship game.
Larson back in the pocket now, looking down the field. She's going to take a shot for Nadonli. And Dominique Collins all over her.
Great protection finally up front for Philadelphia. Larson threw it deep, actually threw it the only place that Nadonli could catch the ball on the outside. Great protection. She plants, throws a good ball on the outside shoulder. Almost a sensational catch, but I love the call by Lance Smith.
Great call, but what coverage. You got to anticipate both teams are going to take their shots down the field because the defenses are really isoing on Roach with Philadelphia and Harris with Chicago. Both of these offensive coordinators know that coming into this game.
One-on-one coverage like that when you got Nadonli, not a bad call by Lance Smith.
Now 3rd and 14, dump off to Heather Roy. And Roy will barely get back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps a gain of 1 on that one.
That time, Yashi Rice and Chantel Taylor put serious heat on Larson. She had to dump the ball off. She was wanting to go deep, but she didn't have the time.
That has been a focus of this defense in Chicago with Coach Keith Hack, is pressure on the quarterback. Philadelphia took a shot here, back with the end of the 2nd quarter. Big 4th and 13 as we return to action here. Larson still looking for someone over the middle, has Roy. And Roy is just not going to get there. She goes for about 8. She needed 13.
Again, no protection. The offensive line for Philadelphia did not protect Larson. She was scrambling back there, actually made a good play to get 8. But you got to give the credit to Taylor and Rice again. The best coverage in the secondary is a great defensive rush.
1st and 10 now as they take over on the Philadelphia side of the field. For a pitch out there to Christelle Harris, heading up on the left side, nothing there. And nothing on the inside as Harris goes for about 1.
That was a key stop for the Chicago defense, Mitch. If Philadelphia could have got on the board there, it's a different ball game. But now, here's back to Heather Furr. If she scores here, they can do what they did against Seattle and get a huge lead going into halftime.
That would play exactly into Coach Keith Hack's strategy. They're a blue-collar, grind-it-out type team, trying to get that early lead so they can keep it on the ground and play physical defense.
That's what they're doing. They haven't completed one pass tonight, and they've got a big lead.
2nd and 9. There's the inside handoff to Fasciano. And Roach coming up from the safety position.
Holy cow, sometimes you don't have to see a good tackle, just hear it. What a hit by Mary Rose Roach. Great call again by Bruner, but what a hit. Wow.
You don't see Roach taunting, but this is definitely a big game. And she wants to get after it. 1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 12 now. There's another handoff to Harris. Harris getting up the middle, still has her footing. Helicoptering her way down to about the Philadelphia 12.
Straight dive play. She read the block of Margie Di Silvestro. You just follow whichever way she blocked, she followed the other way. I'd give it to Harris every time until they stop it, Mitch. They cannot stop her tonight.
Check that. The ball's down to the 5-yard line. And absolutely, if it ain't broke, why fix it? And Philadelphia cannot do anything about Harris right now. And there goes Harris again. She's going to get it down to about the Philadelphia 1 before Crystal Gibson can make the tackle.
A great crackback block by Allie Alberts, opening it up there for Harris again.
And now clock becoming a factor with under 30 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. You got to think Chicago probably has an opportunity for 2 more shots at the end zone.
At least. And if they get in here, this game might be over. This will be a blowout again in the 1st half.
Another handoff to Harris. Harris trying to get on the outside, extending the ball, not getting it, and Chicago will have to use their only timeout to stop this clock.
Mary Rose Roach is doing it on defense. A classic form tackle on the #1 back in the LFL.
Chicago yet still driving and will have 1 more shot at the end zone when we come back. While we were away, we had an opportunity to listen in on what play call strategy Chicago's looking at here.
What do you think? To who?
No, not on the goal line.
No. That's where the reverse works. That's where it works. All right? Yeah, let's run it. Yeah, let's run it. No, reverse. Run a reverse. Run a reverse. The reverse, it's wide open. We're going to talk.
Which reverse?
What? Listen. Reverse will work. All right?
Interesting call here, Bobby, coming up. It appears it's going to be a reverse, and that's what it is. This time it goes to Alberts on the edge. Alberts walking in on her 2nd score of the night, and as they talked about on the sideline, they executed.
Jim Bruner, a great call. The same play that scored early in the game. They came back with the same play. The pursuit went after Harris. She walks in the end zone for 6, and I've never seen a celebration in the end zone like that, Mitch.
I believe Heather Furr was taking something on the Philadelphia defense, but there is Allie Alberts getting to the outside and scoring.
Great seal block on the reverse, and another great call by Bruner.
And there is that surge up the middle. That will give Chicago a 27-6 lead. Philadelphia taking offense to the celebration. It will not matter as Chicago is taking a commanding lead into halftime, 27-6. Just like in the Seattle game, Chicago taking a dominating lead into halftime. Back after this.
Y'all can't even fuck the tackle. This a joke? Is Baltimore supposed to be here? I guarantee you somebody else will get a lot more effort than this shit. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Literally ashamed of yourself. What the fuck you gonna do about it? It can't get no worse.
Hello, everybody. Mitch Mortaza once again alongside Bobby Huco here at halftime at the Orleans Arena. And Philadelphia is obviously not happy. Coach Lance Smith, they are down 27-6 in this one. And some of that has to do with the play of Christy Bell.
Well, you mentioned it in the pregame. Christy Bell gets her team every year to the championship game, and then she doesn't play well. Well, it happened again tonight. Early in the 1st half, he got picked off twice. Not once, twice. 2 critical mistakes, and it put Philadelphia in a big hole.
And for Chicago, what have they done with those mistakes? They've capitalized on them, and primarily with the run game. They started out the game with this Christelle Harris 8-yard touchdown run. They followed that with Allie Alberts here on a 12-yard touchdown run. That put them up 14-0. They weren't done. Even the defense got involved. Chantel Taylor, the great linebacker we talked about, returning it here to the house for 43 yards. And then they finished scoring with this Ali Alberts run to go up 27-6. So quite a margin, but certainly Philadelphia capable of coming back. What are the keys for both these two teams?
Well, for Chicago, they have such a big lead. All they have to do is keep giving the ball to Christelle Ferrari-Harris. She had an impressive first half, 10 rushes for 68 yards. And for Philadelphia offensively, they need momentum. They have to get on the board somehow, score some points. And defensively, they have to shut down Ferrari-Harris and force the ball into Heather Furr's hands.
The stage is set. We are 1/2 away from crowning our first ever Legends Cup champion. Kickoff next.
One final half left as we return to the Orleans Arena. And now let's take a look at those two powerful running backs and how they matched up in the first half.
In the first half, number 1 against number 2, Mary Rose Roach, 6 rushes, 33 yards. Ferrari-Harris, 10 rushes, 68 yards, 6.8 average. The first half, I got to give to Harris, Mitch.
Harris is proving once again why she is now considered the #1 back in the league. And she's going to do the honors of getting us started here in the second half. There's a deep kick for about 40 yards as Larson is trying to bring it out and loses it. But I believe she was marked down at about the 1-yard line. What a mistake early by Philadelphia.
A great kick there by Harris, put in the corner of the end zone. Larson had nowhere to go. She only got out to the 2. Not where Philadelphia wanted to start the second half, Mitch.
Not at all, in the rookie showing her rookie oats. That is a ball you do not bring out. And now that Philadelphia offense is backed up inside their own 2-yard line. And it looks like Christy Bell will be back under center after being benched in the first half. 1st and 10 now from the Philadelphia 2. Bell, little pitch out to Roach. Roach goes to the right side and still on her feet up to about 13 yards. All the way out to the Philadelphia 15, and that'll give them a little breathing room.
That's what they have to do, Mitch. Give the ball to Mary Rose Roach. Hey, if anybody's going to get them back in the game, it's Roach. Watch the outside seal block by Philadelphia. She's got a wall of blockers out there. Almost broke that for 6, but that's what they have to do. Give the ball to the Roach.
Mary Rose Roach continuing to impress. Now 1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 15. Bell on the same right pitch out to Roach. Roach gets to the outside, cuts it inside, and she could be off to the races. Only Yashi Rice chasing, and Roach crosses over for 6.
Wow, they came back with the exact same play. Another great call by Lance Smith. She got to the outside, but watch the safety. Ali Alberts has her in the backfield, but cannot bring her down. A bad tackle, and that cost Chicago 6 points. The Roach spins back. That's what the Roach does. That's why she considers herself the #1 back in the LFL.
Deceptively fast and very tough to take down in the open field, Mary Rose Roach. And you're certainly not going to tackle her going high the way Alberts did there.
That's twice. Alberts has gone high, and twice the Roach went right by her.
And there's a high snap over Larson's head. That ball is still loose, but you can't advance it. That'll keep the score 27-12.
Just when they get on a roll, Collazo, the center, snaps it over Bell's head. Heather Furr is having a ridiculous year at safety. 24 tackles. She does it on both sides of the ball. That's why she's the MVP.
Let's go back to that Philadelphia score. You're talking about a team that was becoming unraveled in the first half. How key was it for them to come out and score that early in the second half?
That's exactly what they had to do. And who did it? The Roach.
And there is Furr on the option. She's going to keep it herself and go for 6.
That's fine. The option's been one of their staple plays all season long. With Furr either keeping it or pitching it to Harris. If they do that for the rest of the game, they'll be fine. Just don't make any stupid turnovers right there, because Philadelphia's got a little momentum after that score.
That is exactly right. Now you're talking about a 2-score game and an offense in Philadelphia that's proven they can hit the big play. Obviously with Lauren LaBella on that 35-yard dart in the first half, and then the Roach exploding. 2nd and 4. There's another handoff to Harris. Harris with the stiff arm. She goes for about 8, and that'll be enough for a Chicago first down.
Great call by Jim Brunner. That's what they have to do, give Ferrari the ball. She had nothing outside, the same play to the left. On her own, she came back with no blocking and got the first down.
The former track star has brought her track game to the LFL. Just great speed in getting to the outside. 1st and 10 at the Philadelphia 21. Laura sticks Peterson in motion, and that is the direction Harris will run. Harris still pumping those legs. She'll go for 7 there.
Peterson and Alberts are arguably the best blockers at the wide receiver position. They bring her in motion, made her a lead blocker. A lot of teams don't even get near their wide receivers blocking. Chicago takes it right toward Peterson and Alberts, and then all Harris does is follow the blocks.
It is physical play at wide receiver, physical play on the inside. It is a Keith Hack type team on both sides of the ball.
It is Chicago at its finest. Punch them in the nose football.
Black and blue. 2nd and 3 now. Shotgun snap to Furr, option out to Harris. Harris gets to the outside for the first down.
Perfectly run.
That is way too easy, Bobby.
Heather Furr, you cannot run that option. It's the read option, nothing in the middle. She attacks the inside. This is perfectly run. Watch the read option, pull it, attack the inside, pitch it. Great play by Heather Furr.
That'll set up now a 1st and goal from the Philadelphia 8. As the clock continues to run, keep in mind, folks, the clock does not stop in the LFL until the 2-minute mark of the 4th quarter. There's Harris again. She'll go for about 3 there, down to the Philadelphia 5.
Interesting setup right there. You have Furr behind the center with the 2 backs, but then he shifts over on the snap count, and it becomes almost a wildcat with a direct snap right to Harris.
A close look at Heather Furr. The Roach will need to come up big here. There's a little pitch out, dangerous pitch to Harris, and that ball is still loose. Philadelphia indicating they got it.
Wow, this could be huge, Mitch. This is what Philly needs.
No, that looks like Alberts recovered. Wow.
Philly did look like they had the ball. How did Chicago get it back? They tried the speed option. Harris just couldn't handle it. There's Philly players all over there. I don't know how they didn't come up with the football. That could have been a huge turnover.
A massive recovery by Allie Alberts. Keeps the drive alive now. 1st and goal at the Philadelphia 3. There's that handoff. Inside surge. Heather Furr with the score.
Mitch, that's like arm wrestling the opponent. You line up, we're just going to power you guys. We are stronger than you guys. You guys can't beat us, and we're going to push you for a yard, and that's all they're doing.
Certainly not a Mike Martz type offense. Really simple. We're going to hand it off, and we're going to run you over.
Mitch, it's 34-12, and they have not completed one pass today. Not one. And Furr's the leading passer in the league. Amazing.
Expect the same play. There it is. Up the middle surge, and you got to wonder at one point, is Philadelphia going to adjust to that very simple call?
That's a great point. Lance Smith, they're doing it every time they need a yard, every time, and they're not adjusting.
Here we go this time with the stationary bike, courtesy of Christelle Harris. They're just having fun now, Bobby.
This might be the most creative team I've seen in any league, including NFL, on Celebration.
Definitely not the no fun league. Back to the 3rd quarter after this. Under a minute 40 now left inside the 3rd quarter as Philadelphia takes over 1st and 10. There's the same pitch out play to Mary Rose Roach, and this time Chantel Taylor comes up from the linebacker position.
Chantel Taylor, she is one of the best in the business. Tonight she's got 3 tackles, 3 solo, 1 interception, and 1 TD. Outstanding.
Yashi Rice and Chantel Taylor coming up big in this one. Now 2nd and 11 as Bell looks back to drop down the field. Looked like a go pattern to Larson. They just could not connect. Peterson in coverage.
Great coverage by Sticks Peterson. Not a bad play call by Lance Smith. One-on-one, you got Larson, who's one of the outstanding players in the league. Sticks Peterson, great coverage, but Christy Bell's not on. That ball was not even close, Mitch.
That was the gripe with Christy Bell, as we talked about in pregame festivities, that she's either on or very off on the biggest stage. There's a quick strike to Megan Larson. That'll go for about 3 yards. Not quite the momentum you're looking for when you're down 34-12.
Not at all. It looked like the Donnelly was open down the middle. She was yelling for the ball, but Bell came underneath. Chicago will let them have that pass all night long. That's just going to kill the clock. That's like a short run.
Now a crucial 4th and 8, and you got to think that they've got to convert here to have any shot at this one. Bell back to pass, going to take it herself now. Coming along the right side and destroyed by Heather Furr. And not enough for the first down as Chicago will take over.
Heather Furr has become a headhunter from the safety position, Mitch.
A pure hitter, and that'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter as Chicago's up 34-12. If that doesn't get you pumped up for the Legends Cup, I don't know what will. As we return to action here, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Chicago, and they are up 34-12.
This game's only a 2-score game. As bad as Philadelphia's been playing, Mitch, they're still in the ball game.
Absolutely. As Furr goes under center now, fakes the handoff, going to look downfield, nothing there. Now trying to find a running lane, gets to the outside, and barely back to the line of scrimmage. And a few of the Chicago players did not like how Heather Furr was attacked.
Not sure about that call, trying to score quick like that. They haven't been stopped on the ground game with Ferrari Harris and Heather Furr wanting the option, but they want to take a shot, and to Philly's credit, Roach was there. There was nothing open.
The only reason I could justify a pass right now is that clock will continue to run regardless of whether it's a pass complete or incomplete. That clock will not stop till we get to the 2-minute warning. Now Chicago calling a timeout. Guess they want to make sure they get this call right, Bobby. Obviously, this is a crucial period in the game.
The only chance Philly has to get back is turnovers. The only time Chicago turned it over was throwing the ball.
There's a look at a few LFLers from around the league enjoying this one. Angela Rippon, several of the Aussie girls in attendance. They're going to be up in December as LFL Australia launches.
Angela Rippon, very disappointed. She was 1 game away. Baltimore should be playing in her eyes right now.
2nd and 10. Heather Furr back to pass again. Nothing there. Is going to take off on the left side. Now cutting back to the inside of the field and to the outside. Still on her feet. And Furr goes for about 12 yards on that one, moving the sticks.
Heather Furr is in a league of her own this year. This is all classic Heather Furr. Nothing there. Should have been sacked. Any other quarterback would have been sacked. And she cuts back and makes this somehow a 12-yard gain.
Chased down by Mary Rose Roach. And this offense is unstoppable at this point. Not sure if it's the offense or the defense's lack of execution. Nonetheless, it's another first down for Chicago from the shotgun now. Furr going to go to the left side. Overshoots her favorite target this season, Allie Alberts.
Interesting calls here by Jim Bruner. They abandoned the running game, which was killing Philadelphia. Now 3 straight passes.
Not exactly the MO of a Keith Hack team. They realize they have this Philadelphia team against the ropes. This is as good time as any to go back to the Ferrari and close this one out.
Well, you know what? Those passes right there, the safeties have to go back. Maybe that's going to soften up the Philly offense and go back to the running game.
There's a direct snap to the Ferrari. Christelle Harris getting down now to appears to be the Philadelphia 8.
Wildcat setup, direct snap to Harris. Nothing there. You got to correct the Philly defense on that one. But I'm not sure about this whole series right here. Chicago seems a little out of sync. The only big play was a scramble by Heather Furr.
I don't think you can get too comfortable here if you're Chicago. This is still just a 2-score game. And as I said in the first half, Philadelphia has proven that they have the capacity for the big play.
Absolutely. They can score quickly, and if they make a stop here, there's a lot of time left in the fourth quarter.
3rd and 6 handoff here to Christelle Harris. Scat back. Oh, and now ill-advised pitch. She kept it, luckily, for Chicago. And she'll only go for 2, setting up a 4th and 4.
Dangerous play by Harris right there. She thought about pitching it, but the only time Chicago got beat this year was by Los Angeles. And the reason they got beat, they turned the ball over by stupid plays like that, and Heather Furr pitching the ball all over the field.
That has got to drive Coach Keith Hack insane on the sidelines. You're up 2 scores. Keep it simple, dummy. That was his advice in the playoffs.
Big play right here.
Absolutely. 4th and 4 now. Christelle Harris going off the left side. Very timid running by Harris. And that is not going to do it as Philadelphia takes over.
Great play by Megan Larson right there. Stopping Harris short. There's over 4 minutes left in the game, and somehow they get a quick strike here. We got a ball game, Mitch.
Absolutely. You have the onside kick at your disposal if you score, Philadelphia. Obviously, that's a few steps down the road here. Or down the field, I should say. But nonetheless, plenty of time left in this one, as Coach Hack firmly understands.
Mitch, I'm not sure if I wouldn't have Larson at quarterback right now. She's the only one that scored a touchdown with a huge pass earlier. What do you think?
Definitely has the bigger arm, and you're going to need yards in a chunk here. There's Nadonley. Lindsay Nadonley rushing, still on her feet for about 13 yards. There's going to have to be a sense of urgency setting in with Philadelphia soon.
That's a great start right there. Who would have thought this one? Lindsay Nadonley on a reverse with it coming outside. She got 13 yards. Good start for this drive. But somewhere in this drive, Christy Bell's got to show up and throw some passes.
1st and 10 now from the Philadelphia 17. Bell pitch out to Roach. Roach on the right side. And guess who? Chantel Taylor, coming from that linebacker position, has been all over Roach tonight.
Probably the best play all night long on Roach. She's had a solid game at running back, but Chantel Taylor coming off the edge and running that clock. Not sure about these play selections. They need 2 scores. Christy Bell has got to come up with some key pass plays.
We are under the 3-minute mark here in Vegas for the first ever Legends Cup. 2nd and 12. Bell and the shotgun. Gonna try to find a crease up the middle. And stumbling forward, and there goes the ball. Nadonley looks like she recovered.
What a lucky break for Philadelphia. Ends up being a huge play. Now they're moving the ball on a forward fumble like that. Nadonley looks a little shaken up right there, but Christy Bell, she finds nothing open, steps up in the pocket, then decides to run. She gets swiped right there. Ball comes flying out. Nadonley, luckily right there. The ball's down on the 17-yard line, Mitch.
That could have been the end of this Legends Cup. 1st and 10 now, and Bell taking a shot down on the end zone. Larson has it and just dropped it.
Wow. Sticks Peterson was there. The ball popped straight up in the air. Larson, clutch receiver all year long, drops a cupcake. The ball was in both hands. She cannot believe it. Philly would have a chance. They'd be back in the ball game.
She has been known to drop several, and this was a big one. Back to 4th quarter action, and tonight we've got most of Chicago wired up. Let's listen in.
Hey, watch for that. Hey, watch for that. That's all I want to tell you. Outside condition. Nobody gets outside of you. You're too fast. All right? That's it. Get out of here.
I'm not even in the fucking play. You're retarded. You're retarded. Maybe next year, Roach.
Motherfucker! Pay the fuck attention. Pay the fuck attention. Pay the fucking.
Ah! No one even knew.
This team is intense, Mitch. I love watching them play.
They are an intense team, and that was a little trickery with Heather Furr and Keith Hack having a laugh about it now. 2nd and 10 now. Philadelphia gonna take a shot to the end zone, and that's Nadonley. All of the press going to Megan Larson, but Nadonley having quietly a great season at wide receiver. comes up with a huge touchdown for Philadelphia.
What a catch by Nadolny. I don't know if this was legal, though. Bell puts the ball out there. Got to give her credit, but Nadolny pushes off, almost like a basketball player, and catches. The refs didn't see it. They didn't call it. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Now Philadelphia will go for 2 from the 3-yard line, taking a shot in the middle, and that was deflected by Perez. Check that, Dominique Collins. But boy, does that make things interesting. 34-18, and I'm sure we're going to see an onside kick here.
They have to do it here. They need the ball, and they could get it. If they get the ball, we got a ball game. But what a play there by Nadolny, pushing off, but making the catch, getting them back in the game.
It is a little too close for comfort, and there's the onside kick. Still squibbing around, and that looks like maybe Philadelphia has a shot at it. No, Chicago recovered. That was Kim Perez. And with 1:50, it looks like Chicago might be winning the first ever Legends Cup.
That was a great kick, as you mentioned. I thought Philadelphia had it. When it becomes a scrum like that, it's who's the stronger player. I thought Philly had it, but they didn't.
Now it's simple. Run out the clock. There's the knee by Furr. And the clock will continue to run. Some of the fans in attendance not liking that.
They want to see more action, but not a bad call at all. Keith Hack just wants to run the clock out and get his first LFL championship.
This is massive for this Chicago team. That incredible fan base back at the Sears Center Arena in Hoffman Estates watching.
This might be Heather Furr's watershed game, Mitch.
There's a pitch out to Harris. Not sure why Chicago isn't taking a simple knee there and risking a turnover. A little perplexed by that play call.
Chicago all year long, they haven't done things exactly by the book, but they win. I agree, they could run the clock out, but they give the ball to Harris.
Hey, it's timeout. Get over here.
Philadelphia's called a timeout now. That is their only timeout of this half as we take another look at that Nadolny score. Back to Las Vegas for the first ever Legends Cup with under 2 minutes remaining. It looks like Chicago will be crowned the first ever Legends Cup champion as Furr takes a snap, but there looks to be some kind of a false start penalty on Chicago.
Mitch, you got to hand it to Keith Hack. What a year. He was the coach of the year, just voted coach of the year. His president, it bodes well for the future of this franchise.
Without a doubt, Bobby. This was a franchise that was really struggling after Hack's departure. Now he's back, and they're back on the championship stage. There's another reverse. This one to Laura Peterson, who's going to take a shot down the field to Allie Alberts. Explain this one to me, Bobby. You're taking a knee 2 plays earlier. Now you're taking a double reverse shot in the back of the end zone.
Keith Hack is trying to run up some points right there. This might come back and haunt him someday, maybe next season. But this game, we think he's going to kneel it out, run the clock out. A reverse pass wide open. Allie Alberts, who never drops balls, drops a touchdown pass. Not sure about that call by Keith Hack. Wow.
And what about this Philadelphia Passion franchise? Well on their way of becoming the Buffalo Bills of the LFL. This will be their 3rd straight championship lost. You got to wonder, Bobby, that they're going to have to look at coaching. They're going to have to look at Christy Bell. Is she the franchise quarterback? And when are you going to surround Mary Rose Roach with more weapons?
Well, we thought they did. All season long, we thought they finally got a balanced offense. Last year was all Roach. This year, they mixed it up with the passing, but it's the same team that showed up in the finals. I can't believe you went there with the Buffalo Bills call.
That was 4th down for Chicago as Philadelphia takes back over. Quick little screen pass out there to Mary Rose Roach, and now it's officially garbage time.
It's time to throw some Hail Marys or nothing. There's no way they're going to come back from this, but you might as well take some shots in the end zone.
What a special night for Chicago, and what a special night for the LFL as the league finally crowns someone other than Los Angeles. And you got to think the Western Conference has been dominating all year. At what point is the Eastern Conference going to catch up? They have yet to win a championship game in the LFL.
The entire playoff season, Keith Hack has guaranteed victories like he did tonight. He called this one. He says Philadelphia's not going to have a shot against us, and again, he wins.
The West seems far more physical, far more coordinated. As you can see there, Christy Bell having problems. They just seem to be mismatched here.
The only team I think from the East that could have played with Chicago tonight is Jacksonville. And they choked against Omaha, which kind of knocked them out of sync, and they didn't make the playoffs. But I thought that was going to be the team coming out of the East.
As we talked about during that pregame show, Jacksonville was the odds-on favorite, certainly a loaded roster. And Philadelphia, with their offseason turmoil with former coach Chandler Brown, certainly were not expected to be on this stage, so you have to give them credit. But a lot of people would tell you they kind of backed into this game, and it's certainly showing with this final score.
I really thought after two previous playoff appearances where Christy Bell didn't play that well, I really thought she was going to play good tonight, and she did not.
And we are just one simple kneel down away from crowning the Chicago Bliss your 2013 Legends Cup champions. And there's a look at Heather Furr, your league MVP, your game MVP, and now she takes the Ring of Champions trophy back to Chi-Town.
She's an LFL champion quarterback. Unbelievable season she had. She led the league in passing, she led the league in tackles, and now she wins the Legends Cup.
This was a complete team performance for the season for Chicago. You know, you have people like Allie Alberts. There's the exchange with Furr, Chantel Taylor, Yashi Rice, obviously Christelle Harris, Laura Stix-Peterson. Just an amazing roster. What a lot of people have not factored is this is a very young roster that people expect will be together for a number of years to come. Back with interviews right after this.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. You're looking at the champions of the Legends Cup, the Chicago Bliss. Let's go down the field with Mitch. He's got a couple of the stars.
All right, guys, down to the field here. What an amazing year for this Chicago Bliss team. Certainly something we did not expect. A lot of people expected Seattle would be on this stage, maybe Los Angeles, Jacksonville, but no, it's the Chicago Bliss with Keith Hack, Christelle Harris, and Heather Rockstar Furr. Coach, talk to us about this. I mean, this moment, you guys came back 09, LA beat you, took a year off from the game, now back, you got a championship. Talk to us about it.
Well, we expected this from day one. You know, the league doesn't think, we should have been here, but we knew we belonged there. We dropped the ball a couple times in LA in the first game, otherwise we're undefeated. We're the #1 seed. The league better get used to this, because we're going to be here every year.
The league better get used to it.
That's right.
All right, and now we've got Christelle Ferrari-Harris. I think you've officially taken over the reign as the preeminent running back in this game. Talk to us about your performance out there and what the season meant to you.
First off, I just want to say, Mary Rose Roach, I give you props. Thank you for giving me somebody to look up to. I love you, girl. As far as, the LFL and the Legends Cup, the Ferrari is here to stay. I am the best quarterback, and I got the best team, the Chicago Bliss. She's the best quarterback.
She's the best quarterback as well, apparently. All right, so now we've got Heather Furr. Only the league MVP, Legends Cup MVP, and now you're going home with the one trophy that everybody wants, the Legends Cup trophy. Talk to us about it.
Oh my gosh, to be the winner of the first ever Legends Cup, I couldn't tell you how amazing it feels. I mean, we came here ready to win, prepared to win, and that's what we did. We took care of business. Might have looked a little crappy at times, but we took care of business.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and enjoy this one. Guys, that is it. The Chicago Bliss are world champions, LFL USA. Back to you guys.
What a season for Heather Rockstar Furr. MVP tonight, MVP of the league. Now she's an LFL champion quarterback. Christelle Ferrari-Harris led the league in rushing. Now she's a champion. Keith Hack put this whole team together. A lot of people didn't think they'd be here. Now they are LFL champions. In Chicago, first it was the Blackhawks. Now it's the Chicago Bliss. For director Patrick Frulich,
producer Gino Payne, audio engineer Josh Schuin, and my partner Mitch Mortaza. I'm Bob Huco. We'll see you soon in LFL Canada.